Hey, Piney. Welcome to another Piney podcast. My name is Tony D, and we have an update on the South Jersey mess, known as the crisis, known as you know what. Some good news. Today's increase in cases was only just over 3,000. So that's a 2 day drop. That is 4 days at around 3,000. We have not been at 4,000 for about 4 days. So this could be a trend. This could be a trend. Now we have to keep in mind that the numbers are not super exact. Again, the testing can be sporadic. We can get little outbursts, but this is definitely a sign, and the same thing's happening in New York, that infection rates are going down. We're finally starting to flatten the curve, and it's not even the 10th. That's a good thing. We are a little ahead of schedule because I think they were predicting the curve not really starting to flatten until closer to the 15th. The deaths are still going up, sadly. Well, unfortunately, that's to be expected considering how many people are in the hospital and the delayed effect of this crisis. We aren't going to really see, I don't know when we'll see a plateauing of that. Probably not in the not too distant future. I mean, I guess we'd have to, don't know really how to calculate that because they're not really 2 weeks apart, I guess. Although, yeah, because testing didn't necessarily happen the moment these people were showing signs. Could happen a few days in. So figure on maybe by the end of the week, we should see a decline in the deaths. And hopefully it continues to go down at this rate. So yesterday we were I think we were at 3,500, 3,400. I forget now. No, we were at 3,300. So that went down by 10%. So if we can achieve drops like that in the next coming days, hopefully we could be under 2,000 before the end of the week. That'd be great. Or the end of the weekend, I should say. Definitely maybe get under we'll be under 3,000, I think, tomorrow. Fingers crossed, unless it's like the kind of thing where it kind of like goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, but the general trend is down. But it's a good sign. I will reiterate my warning from yesterday. I know it was a little hot. I was a little angry, a little upset. A lot of people not wearing masks, not wearing gloves. Wear the mask. Look, I've seen a ton of video on the mask and a ton of people who just are absolutely convinced that the mask does nothing or does more harm than good. A lot of that came out of the World Health Organization. Do not listen to them. They are run by an avowed communist. I'm not making that up. They are also greatly influenced by the government of China, who had every stake in making this virus worse around the world and to parse the blame out to anybody else other than them. So the World Health Organization has been completely corrupted. I would not listen to them. I would use another source. I wouldn't say do the opposite of them because they're going to come out. They're coming out now with right information, but don't go to them. Go to the CDC if you go anywhere because that's run by the United States, and they're more trustworthy than the World Health Organization. I'll say that. And this is coming from a libertarian who doesn't really trust federal government organizations. You can also trust the many videos of doctors coming out now and saying, the malaria drug works and the mask will do something. Now, it's not a cure-all. It doesn't give you 100% protection. And certainly you have to use common sense when using the mask. First, the mask has to be sterile. In other words, you have to clean it. So if you touch the inside of the mask, that defeats the purpose. So don't do that. The inside of the mask is the part you want to keep clean. The outside you kind of want to keep clean too, because you could end up breathing anything. So you don't really want to touch anything other than the edges of the mask or the thing that hooks around your ears. You want to wash the mask regularly and keep it clean. Now, I bought a package of 10 masks. They're not supposed to be reusable, but they're made of cloth, so I washed them anyway, and I've been reusing them. They're fine. You can't get masks anywhere. You make a mask. Everybody's making masks now. Make something. Get a bandana. Put it on your face when you go out. Don't touch it, but use the mask. Breathe through it. It has to be over your nose or it defeats the purpose. Now, they showed Chuck Schumer and a few other politicians walking around with the mask pulled below their nose. That may or may not be them being stupid, but I will tell you that as a guy who wore the mask back in January to work for 8 hours a day, sometimes I would pull the mask because I would be outside by myself. I would pull the mask down because it was fogging up my glasses and I didn't really have much of a choice. I had to see what I was doing at work, and I was at that moment by myself, and then I would put the mask back up. And yes, I touched it here because I had no choice. I was outside, I was working, people would come up to me, I had to put the mask back. But I also had gloves on, and on top of the gloves, I would put the hand sanitizer on the outside of the gloves to keep the gloves sterile. Because as one of my friends pointed out, well, if you wear the gloves, what difference does it make if you touch everything and you touch your phone and you touch your face? Well, even though you're wearing the gloves, you shouldn't keep touching everything because you have to understand you could still transfer germs. However, if you did what I did and keep the hands... See, the problem with hand sanitizer, it tends to dry out your skin a little bit. But with the gloves, it doesn't do that because it's all on the gloves. And I found that the gloves I was using absorbed a little bit of the sanitizer, and it would stay on there a little longer, I think. I don't know that for sure. I could smell the hand sanitizer long after I'd put it on. So even now, I've taken those gloves and I've actually washed them because I took them from work and I washed them in a big bowl with hot soap and water. And I've been reusing the gloves too. Look, hot soap and water kills germs. This is something we all know. Detergent kills germs. Soap kills germs. You wash something, it's essentially sterile again, and you can use it, you can breathe through it, you can put it back on. I mean, if you don't wash it right, that's bad. I mean, you got to wash it correctly. Obviously, if you've thrown up on it and there's still stains on the thing, that's a problem. But, for the most part, like if you're just going out, like I went out for a walk with the dog, I used a mask. And now I have the luxury, because I'm stuck at home, I threw the mask in a wash and I got a different mask. So, first off, you shouldn't be going out unless you absolutely need to. I had to go out yesterday, so I went. I was running low on supplies. I desperately needed some fruit or some vegetables. I finally got some. Hooray. You have to go out eventually. But you should limit that. So in other words, run out your food or come close to it at least. And don't make a food run until you absolutely have to. You have to rethink how you do things now. You can't just go out to the store every time you run out of one thing. You have to run out of your food, run out a good portion of it, be missing, a few things before you finally break and say, well, I got to go to the store. I'm running low on tissues. I couldn't get tissues at the produce stand where I went. So if I completely run out of tissues, I'm going to start getting antsy about going to maybe Target or someplace. By the way, my suggestion of going to the produce stands out in 73, apparently a lot of people took that advice, and the place was full of people, almost as many, I would say about the same amount of people as the Walgreens and other places I drove past on the way to the produce stand. However, I think the produce stand is still a better bet because it was an open air produce stand and the wind's blowing, and that's definitely going to help keep you from breathing in any of the virus because there's just so much wind along the side of the road. It was a good wind, so it was nice and breezy. The whole place was aired out, so nothing's sort of cooped up. You're not in an incubator like you would be inside a supermarket, let's say, or a smaller store. But yeah, I'm not seeing a ton of masks out there or gloves, and I was really shocked to see the employees at Walgreens really not wearing much. Certainly, if you're an employee inside a building in a place like Walgreens, you definitely need a mask and gloves. I mean, you're at work, you're trapped there, you're going to be encountering tons of people. You are super vulnerable to the virus. I mean, wise up. Put on gloves, put on a mask at the very least. Beyond that, I used to wear a hoodie at work because that would cover my hair. It can get into your hair. And then when you get home, you really got to decontaminate. You really have to go right to the shower. You have to strip off all your clothes, throw them in the wash, and go right to the shower. You have to. You are definitely covered in germs. So you should be doing that. Unless you're just saying, screw it, I'll get sick. I wouldn't do that, especially right now. It's a bad time to be sick. The hospitals are still a little overloaded. In my county, we're at 750, a little over, I think. So county-wise, we're still okay, I think. I think that's a lot of cases, but even if they were all in the hospital, I think the hospital could handle, spread over the hospitals in the area. I'm pretty sure most, only 20%, I think, of cases actually get hospitalization. So what's 20%? It'd be 150. So we're only talking about 150 people in the county are in the hospital. And we have more than one hospital in the county. Several. So spread out amongst the several hospitals here, I'm sure that's no big deal. But I don't think you want to go on a ventilator if you can help it. I mean, that sounds like awful. It sounds awful. I recall when I had to get a gallbladder operation, I had to go under, and it was just awful. It was just awful. Before that was my car accident. I got the scar. I was out of it. They asked me if I wanted to go under. I said yes. Worst mistake I've ever made. I'll never do that again. Went under, and I got pneumonia. I spent a week in the hospital and then a week at home, sick as a dog. Sicker. I felt worse being sick after the operation on my hand than I did after the car accident. After the car accident, I was kind of shaken up and knocked around. My hand hurt, but man, the respiratory infection was, that was bad. So I can only imagine what the current infection is like. I assume it's similar. You feel like you can't breathe. It's just, it's a bad infection in your chest. You should avoid trying to get it, especially since they're working on all these vaccines. I mean, the moment they have a vaccine, they're going to be throwing it all over the place. And I'm sure we'll all be lining up to get one. And I'm sure it'll be free on top of everything else. I mean, the flu one is free, I think. I think the last flu virus was free. I remember walking into Target and being offered one, and I turned it down. Frequently I do, but I've sort of changed my view on flu shots. And plus I'm getting older. I'm at that age. I'm just at that age where I should probably get a flu shot. But Pineys, I tell you again, please, mask up, glove up, be careful out there. Try to stay home if you can. If you're working, definitely mask and glove up. You got to. In other news, nothing. This is all the news that's all the news from South Jersey. If I have anything else, I'll let you know in the good news segment, which will be coming up a little later. By the way, I'm going to have a BitChute exclusive today. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm definitely going to have one. YouTube is getting rid of a lot of channels, so definitely sign up on BitChute if you like my content, and keep me in mind, because YouTube could make me go away at any day now. And BitChute is a perfectly fine platform. You can also follow me on Minds. I haven't gotten into the habit of posting all the videos there. I'm trying. It's a little harder on Minds, but I actually have to post the BitChute link or the YouTube link on Minds, which in some ways is easier, but in some ways it's harder because I'm not uploading. I just, yeah. So please sign up on BitChute, even if you're not going to use it. I know it can be slow sometimes when it gets a little busy, but me and Little Joan want to keep in touch.